The city rose like a wall of glass and concrete against the pale morning sky. For many, it was a symbol of progress. For the black African workers arriving before sunrise, it was a place of survival. They came from villages, deserts, and forgotten towns, men and women carrying small bags and heavy hopes. Buses dropped them at the edge of the city, where construction cranes cut the air like metal birds. This city never slept, but it never noticed them either. Amara, a strong man in his early 30s, stood quietly among the others. His hands were already scarred from years of hard labor. He had come to this city to earn enough money to send his children to school. Around him, hundreds of black African laborers waited for supervisors who barely looked at their faces, only counting bodies like tools. By the time the sun rose, the workers were already climbing scaffolding, mixing cement, carrying steel rods, and digging foundations. Sweat soaked their clothes before breakfast. The city began its day on the strength of their backs. Days in the city followed a cruel rhythm. Wake before dawn, work until the sun burned overhead, continue even when muscles screamed and lungs felt heavy with dust. Black African workers built roads they would never drive on and offices they would never enter. Some worked on skyscrapers so high they felt closer to the sky than to justice. Others cleaned streets that would be dirty again by night. Amina, one of the few women on the construction site, worked twice as hard to prove her strength. She carried bricks, mixed concrete, and endured harsh words without complaint. At night, she washed her hands until the cement dust finally released her skin. Lunch breaks were short. Workers sat on the ground, sharing bread and water, speaking quietly about home. Stories of mothers, children, and lost lands filled the air. These moments were brief, but they kept their humanity alive in a city that treated them as invisible. When night came, the city transformed. Lights glowed in tall buildings, restaurants filled with laughter, and music echoed through clean streets. But far from those lights, the workers returned to crowded rooms on the city's edge. 10, sometimes 12 people shared a single space. Mattresses lay on the floor, fans pushed hot air in circles. Still, exhaustion made sleep unavoidable. Amara often lay awake thinking. He wondered how a city so rich could depend on workers who lived with so little. Injuries were common. A broken arm could mean lost wages. A fall could mean silence and replacement. Yet, even in these shadows, dignity survived. Workers helped each other. They shared food, treated wounds, and listened when someone's spirit was breaking. Brotherhood and sisterhood became their true shelter. One day, an accident stopped the site. A scaffold collapsed, injuring several workers. For the first time, the machines fell silent. Fear and anger spread through the crowd. Amara stepped forward. His voice was calm but strong. He spoke of safety, respect, and fair treatment. Others joined him. Amina stood beside him, her eyes steady. Their voices were not loud, but they were united. Supervisors were forced to listen, not because they cared, but because the city could not move without these workers. It was a small moment, but it mattered. For the first time, the workers felt seen, not as labor, but as people. Years passed. Buildings rose. Roads stretched across the land. The city grew taller, faster, richer. Some workers returned home with savings and stories. Others stayed, becoming part of the city's hidden foundation. Amara eventually opened a small repair shop near the workers' district. Amina became a supervisor, insisting on safety and respect for new laborers. The city never put their names on plaques or monuments, but every wall, every bridge, every street carried their effort. The black African workers had built more than a city. They had built lives from struggle, dignity from hardship, and hope from exhaustion. And even if the city never spoke their names, the ground beneath it remembered.